to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Stay away from cities with dyke mayors. They spray the pipes major. Don't play with your life, player, or shake the dice, player. But if you got a quota, then stay away from toddlers. These bitches are fight promoters. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Train your toddler. Please train your toddler. Timeouts. Take her allowance. Cause on what she will destroy your life if you allow it. Fucking, I'm tired of rapping. Yo, low, bring in the choir. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare.
Why did Daddy say so?
Because we were talking about every night, I wanted some boyfriend, so I'm moving out.
Because Daddy told you can't have a boyfriend in his house? So you're moving out?
Yes.
Welcome to the Dirty Folks Daycare. I am your tolerologist, Dirty Folks. Alright, so guys, check this out, man. Once again, man, I appreciate whoever showed up, bro. Y'all could be anywhere. Y'all here with me, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. I need y'all to like and sub as y'all come in, man. Like and sub as y'all come in. So we have I decided to talk about the type of stuff that I like to talk about. And most of the stuff that I like to talk about is boring, but I'm exciting. So I try to make boring shit exciting. Like last night we did religion. I'm wanting to get this is a daycare, but I think that we have explored not to listen to toddlers with clothes on. And we'll talk about other things, we'll get into other things too. But right now, man, I want to tell you that I have been inspired today. I was inspired by Mr. Goodwill. Shout out to Mr. Goodwill. He did a live earlier today about banking. And, I'm a banking fanatic. If y'all don't know, if y'all my Facebook friends on my main page, bro, I have been talking about banking for a decade. But people don't think that I know banking because I'm black and they don't know shit. Because black is for women, gays, and felons. And their job is not to know shit. And if you know shit, they call you a coon. Right? So, but banking is my thing, bro. That's what I do. And my whole thing is, one of the greatest lessons that I learned in college was that there's crime, and then there's a legal version of crime. Give you an example. You can be a loan shark. That is criminal. You can own a title loan company, totally legal. You can run the numbers racket. It's literally racket in the name. That's racketeering. You're going to jail forever under RICO Act. Or you can call it a nonprofit and make it a state lottery, baby. And people will buy tickets to your racketeering operation. There's a legal version for every illegal act. And I keep in tune with the streets. Just smart. So what ends up happening when I always looked around, I said, man, there's so much. Like, the reason there's only 17 black banks in America, not 17 locations, nigga, 17 banks, period, is because black people black is a matriarchy. And we already know what matriarchy don't know shit. They just do shit. And they want to be a better version of white people instead of just doing what's in their natural proclivity, their natural culture. Right? So what ends up happening is there's so much money left on the street. There's no reason that you have a black bank on some corner But every business on that block had to go to Bank of America or Chase or Wells Fargo. You should have been locking down your area. That's why you there. And since they don't, that's why they keep closing. Because niggas can't do shit right. Because they always trying to do something for comfort instead of something for building. They don't operate as men. They just rebuild what greater men built. Anywho, so I'm not going to say nothing about banking though. Because that's my shit. And I ain't giving y'all no game. But I will talk slavery. And you need the banking and you need industry to do slavery. And I enjoy slavery. I plan on being a slave owner. And I want y'all to know I keep saying that and it's not cap. So today, we're going to talk a little bit of voluntary slavery. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. First of all, let's define slavery. Slavery is unpaid labor or low pay labor. That's what slavery is. Y'all see it as picking cotton. That was just the industry for the time before the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution stopped slavery. The fact that people just got tired of free labor didn't stop slavery. If that was the case, then the 14th Amendment wouldn't say that anybody that's incarcerated is a slave. Because they still want cheap labor. Businesses are moving to China because they want cheap labor. I go on Fiverr to get my work done by Pakistanians because I want cheap labor. Because y'all niggas tell me y'all want $250 to design a flyer, and it's a nigga on Fiverr that'll do it for $15 in India. We all want cheap labor. That's all slavery was. How can I get the maximum yield for the cheapest output? Because work for the shareholders. That's it. So, here's the thing. Even though I was inspired by the banking, the banking video, we're not going to talk banking. We're going to talk about free and cheap labor. But I will say this, that banking video did make me go back into our banking. You know, I got documents for everything. And one of the things that we want to do that I think is very creative is we want to allow people to pay off their debt with community service. That's not a new thing. It's just something that we want to incorporate into banking that they just use arbitrarily in the hood. Because everything niggas do in the hood is ass backwards. That's why the hood is fucked up. Y'all listen to these bitches, and bitches don't know shit. They just do shit. And you allow these chicks to get all the fucking 501c3s and get all the nonprofit grants, and all the fuck they want to do is have an after school program while the city is actually closing schools. All they want to do is save the kids and start some type of fucking football league. That's 52 kids. It's fucking thousands of kids on your block. So everything they do is ass backwards because y'all let girls run shit and girls don't know shit. They just do shit. And then y'all be like, we got to fix what the girls fucked up. That's what rebuild a community mean. That's what men step up mean. Y'all got to fix girls fuck ups. Instead of just saying fuck them bitches, they don't need a man. Let them figure it out and build from scratch as men. Anyway. So I want to have it's going to be real quick, man. It's going to be less than an hour. I want to do a quick overview of the perception of volunteer work, charity work. So the first video we're going to see right here, like and sub as y'all come in. The first video we're going to see right here is from a young magical girl hosting why it's good to give back to your community. So let's listen to the young magical girl teach us about giving back.
Watching Now This Kids, presented by Cheerios. Believe it or not, I am not a big fan of chores. I mean, they're not the most fun thing to do, right? They take forever, they're super boring, and I'd rather be doing something way more fun instead. But what if everyone stopped doing their chores? If every single person in a family decided to decline their duties, that house would not be pretty. because chipping in with chores helps keep things tidy, clean, and organized. Now imagine if everyone in a town or state or even the whole country stopped helping out. Things would get messy pretty fast. It takes a group effort to create a nice place to live for everyone in a community. But in order for us to keep our communities safe and comfortable places to exist, that means everybody has to do their part. Even
Let me pause on that real quick, because the chores analogy was kind of dope. This is what happens, guys. You have to understand how narcissistic and how self-serving women are. You got to understand that in order to understand what I'm about to say next. Women only care about what's inside her front door. Men care about what's outside the front door, like the rest of the fucking world, right? Like the entire globe. Women care about what's inside the door. Well, toddlers. Because white girls always want to say some shit. But toddlers in general care about what's inside the door. So no matter how fucked up her community is, once she walks into her house, her crib, a lot of times they're comfortable as shit. Not these new girls. These new girls can't clean shit. But generally speaking, women's homes be comfortable as shit. Women's homes have fucking pillows for their pillows, a couch with the end table, and the curtains that match, a whole bedroom suits. Women's homes are comfortable. That's her retreat. Men don't really give a shit, but that's women's retreat. And women's biggest problem with men when they live with a man is men interrupt her retreat because she believes her home is a sanctuary instead of just a place that you sleep and eat. Meanwhile, while her crib is beautiful, niggas are shooting outside her front door. Cars are crashing. It's some motherfucker that's double parked next to two parking spots. So all he can do is move over a little bit, but instead they blocking traffic because they too inconsiderate to just park. All type of bullshit is happening outside. And once she puts her key in that lock, she don't give a fuck about what's going on outside. And she wants you, they ain't get no pussy, has no ties to shit going on, to come through and clean up her outside while she hides inside and curses you out if you come inside. Because she don't want you inside. But she don't give a fuck about outside. But she wants you to fix outside. So outside is as beautiful as she tried to make her inside just for her. And this is why black communities are fucked up. Because you got the worst, most horrible fucking women on earth. The most selfish, self-centered, most horrible human beings on earth. And y'all call them your women. Y'all niggas is nuts. Anyway. But the young lady is right. When you handle your portion of chores, everything works out well. The reason that there's, on the south side of Chicago in the Inglewood district, there's 1,163 registered nonprofits in one district, one community, and the community is still known as one of the highest murder, highest crime areas in America, shows you that these bitches mismanage nonprofits and community service because they don't know shit. They just do shit. That's why my hate is righteous. I don't hate women because they women. Like, yeah, I ain't get no pussy. No, I get plenty pussy. I hate them for what they are because they don't do shit right and they can't follow instructions, and they teach you not to follow a man. They teach you the only good man and don't trust other men. Thinking every other nigga a dirty Mac and all type of negative connotations about people that's a reflection of you. When you awesome. And most of these niggas are like 80%. You only notice the bad niggas. Just like you only notice the litter. You know what I'm saying? Bro, life would be so beautiful once you train your toddlers. Swear to God. Train your toddlers, things will be beautiful. Anyway, but this young lady is right. Everybody got to pitch in. So, let's go back to it.
if it means washing the dishes. Today we're talking about how to be an active member in our communities and why it's so important to help out whenever we can. This is Emma McDonald. She's a volunteer at the Fort Greene Community Fridge, a revolving refrigerator that lives outside that's full of healthy, free food for families in need. We talked to Emma about the Fridge's mission, how she got involved with volunteering, and the importance of helping out her community.
The contents of the fridge are for anyone to take when they need it. It's maintained by the same community that it's used by, and it's all very local. We all take care of it as volunteers and have a kind of schedule for checking up on it every day, making sure things are looking good in there and people are using it. The most important idea is that you wouldn't put anything in that you wouldn't want to find there and take yourself. The group who organized it is really kind of creating a community amongst ourselves, and also by getting to know more people in the neighborhood. It's a really powerful way of making a little effort, at least.
I just want to say something real quick. These are the type of things that girls do. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm not saying anything's wrong with it. I'm simply saying that these are the type of things that girls do. And then people see girls do something, just like you see your child do something, and you support. Oh, my child likes to do something. Now women are great at being squeaky wheels. So now Cheerios is sponsoring people telling you to put a fridge outside and let motherfuckers just walk and come into your fridge. I'm not knocking it as long as the community's good. But you give me a bad community and you give me a refrigerator and I will show you some bullshit happening. People will grocery shop out that fridge. Like, it won't be a place where motherfuckers just come through like, yo, I'm hungry, I'm gonna just grab a bite. It'll be some other shit. Because the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I'm not knocking the fridge. I'm not knocking the effort. I think that their heart is in the right place. But what I'm saying is these are the type of things girls come up with. Because they mismanage volunteer work. They mismanage nonprofit work. They mismanage it because they don't have no idea of system, structure, infrastructure, or what people need in order to be sustained. They just do a thing. This is just a thing. It's a nice thing, but it's just a thing. Anyway, let's go back to it. I just want to point that out, though. This is some really girl shit. I'll never see a guy just be like, I want a fridge.
A community is a group of people who in some way or another all have something in common.
I also want you to notice that there's nothing but women here. Just a bunch of magic. A bunch of magicians. This whole thing is about magicians. That's how you know it's going to be silly. But I want you to know these are the type of people who volunteer. This is not what charity, what nonprofits are about. But these are the type of people who volunteer to work for free. It's always something easy. It's always something aesthetic. Because that's their thing. Men are judged on merit. Women are judged on beauty. So they try to make the world beautiful, but it has no merit. But these are the type of people who volunteer for free. We'll get into the other type of volunteers in a minute.
That something could be a location, like a neighborhood, a city, even a whole continent. Community can also refer to a person's beliefs or religion, and even way less serious stuff, like the sports team someone likes or the books and movies they are fans of. We're all a part of so many communities, we might not even realize we're in them. But that just means there are a lot of opportunities for us to chip in and make them fun, accepting, and encouraging places to live our lives. We should all think about some issues or causes that are relevant to our community. Endless cause is food accessibility, but you can look into the issues affecting your community and identify ways to make things better. From volunteering at the local food bank, down to lending a pencil to someone in need. Literally any act of kindness is a positive benefit to the community. By taking a step back and seeing how much our actions have made our community better, we can motivate ourselves to keep on helping and use these games to encourage others around us to chip in too.
Hey, yo, I'm lightweight offended by this picture right here. I'm lightweight offended. They got so many girls trying to build a house. Lord, the roof going, I ain't gonna say nothing bad. All right.
Chip in too. Communities are all about the give and take. And when we help each other out, the end result is a stronger, more loving community.
Communities are where we thrive. They're places we feel safe, surrounded by our friends and loved ones. Communities have power, and as members, we all have a responsibility to do the work to keep them clean, safe, and supportive. Thanks for watching this episode of Now This Kids, presented by Cheerios. If you like this episode, please subscribe to our channel. See you next time!
That young lady's gonna be such a terror when she gets older. I promise to God. They've already given her too much exposure. She thinks she's a good woman. Anyway, so There are volunteer positions, right? Free labor for a feel good. For a feel good. What I want you guys to realize is that all this free and cheap labor depends on who? Big business or small business, but a business, because somebody has to provide the goods and services that they just give away. Because girls don't think people should pay for shit. They just give shit away. So things that they can easily give away, those are the type of things that women volunteer for. Now, you have volunteer work, charity work, and then you have court-ordered community service. So all these things are a form of community service, whether it's charity, whether it's nonprofit, and then you have court-ordered community service. Now, they're not going to talk about how this is court-ordered, but I'm about to show you a clip of one of the biggest community service businesses in the nation. I don't know about in the world. Probably in the world, though, honestly. And this would be the Goodwill. So let us let this gentleman talk about the benefits of the Goodwill. Now, I need y'all to understand that y'all might not find a Hebrew Israelite church everywhere, but you will find a Goodwill everywhere. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And I'll explain why the Goodwill actually is a good thing after they do their dissertation. It's only 3 minutes. And I'll explain to you why the Goodwill really is a form of goodwill. So let's check this out.
You probably think of the store, but Goodwill is so much more than that. It offers volunteer opportunities, and joining me now to explain how you can get involved are GCF volunteer coordinator Becky Lido, along with Pallavi E. Ramsetti, a high school student who has been volunteering numbers of hours for GCF. Hello, ladies.
Hi.
All right, so first off, Becky, tell everybody, what is GCF?
It's always some magic, bro. It's always some magicians. I'm telling you, that volunteer shit is toddler based, bro. Anyway, I digress.
GCF is the Goodwill Community Foundation. It's an arm of Goodwill Industries of Eastern North Carolina, and it actually funds all of the things that we do in the communities that we serve.
Hey, you guys do a lot of stuff, but let's talk about a couple specifically. Tell me about the GCF farm.
The GCF farm is located at our corporate headquarters in Durham, and we grow fresh produce that we donate to the Food Bank of Central and Eastern North Carolina. In 2013, we donated over 63,000 pounds.
Wow. Pallavi, what was it like being a part of that?
I really enjoyed it. I know that the things that we did went to the food bank, which provided food, and the different vegetables. I got to find out the different vegetables that I never knew about, and we did different activities, so we were busy throughout the day, which was really good.
You're learning, staying busy, helping people. It's great. So tell me about the flood bucket assembly.
We do flood buckets during the first quarter of the year. We do about 1,000 buckets full of cleaning supplies that go to victims of severe weather, like hurricanes, floods, and so forth.
You don't think about that until it happens to you.
Until it happens. And so we have these ready to be shipped out to places in need.
And school supply kit assembly, what is that?
We put together school supplies for children that participate in Boys and Girls Clubs in Eastern North Carolina. Paper, pencils, scissors, crayons, all the kind of supplies that you need.
Let me pause this real quick. I was going to wait, but let me say this real quick. This is part of what I'm going to say at the end, but I'll say it now. When they donate these pails of cleaning agents or donate these pencils with erasers and these calculators, they're asking for donations from businesses. You have to understand that their business is siphoning resources from other legitimate businesses. but it's a symbiotic relationship. For instance, me, 30 folks, Nosha soap. I may have X amount of irregular soap, right? It's just not cut right. It worked. It's real soap. It's oddly shaped, packaging fucked up, something like that. Irregular. I can't sell it on the main market. If I want to make a profit from it, I will have to sell it to a irregular corporation. And there are some. They hit me up. They was like, "You got irregulars? Like, send them to me." And what they will do is, it's kind of like TJ Maxx or Marshalls, how all the clothes are quote unquote irregular, but you can't really tell. You know what I'm saying? You be like, you can't tell one sleeve longer than the other because it's just by an inch or whatever the case may be. But the retail price might have been $50, but they'll sell it to a irregular shop for like $8, and then a regular shop will sell it to you for $16. So it's a great deal for you. It's a great deal for them, and the actual wholesaler or manufacturer doesn't have to just throw it away. So it's a good deal for them because at least they got something back, right? The flip side of that is all the things that the Goodwill giveaway that they're talking about are cheap items. All these items you can find at your Dollar Tree. So you figure it costs, if you can get a packet of 10 pencils for $1 from Dollar Tree, that's 10 cents a pencil. So you figure if it's 10 cents a pencil retail, then manufacturing wise, they might be anywhere between a penny to 1/10 of a penny. They might be making 10 pencils for a penny. You feel what I'm saying? So what they'll do, and this is a symbiotic relationship with places like Goodwill, what they'll do is and you can do it too. You can do it at Salvation Army right now if you want to. And I suggest it. Goodwill too. What they do is they give you the retail value as a credit. So for instance, I got a lighter. Right? The lighter, 50 cents. Probably cost them 5 cents to make it. Right? So they'll donate, if they donate 10 lighters to the Goodwill at 50 cents a piece, they lost 50 cents in actual, what it actually costs to manufacture it, but they made $5 credit towards not having to pay taxes. So what they'll do is they'll give it to you at retail cost. That's why you have things like suggested manufacturer retail cost, right? Y'all seen the SMRP normally on cars, but there's an SMRP for everything. There's a price point that if I'm in Trader Joe's, they won't let me sell my soap for less than $8. They have a SMRP, a suggested manufacturing retail price. So I can't be like, yo, I'm gonna undercut Dove and I'm gonna sell my shit for $3. No, the cheapest suggested manufacturer price I can do is $8. Right? I can go above that and be a designer, but I can't go below that and be in their retail. Right? So what I would do is I would figure out a way to make our products as inexpensively as possible, and then I would charge them $8 or $10. I charge them $10 per unit to give it away. So I may have lost, I don't know, bro, $6, $10 for a case. But if I give them a case, I got $1,000 deduction. So it works for the manufacturer. Most of y'all do retail and resale and drop shipping and shit, but I'm telling you, I manufacture everything. I talk about this all the time, how I got a lab for everything. We got a lab to create the product. We got the lab for fucking to print books. We got a lab for everything that we do. So because you have to be able to control your means of production to keep your price down. So keeping your price down and knowing what your price point is, You donate your price point. So when people say, oh my God, I can't believe that big businesses don't pay taxes. They don't pay taxes because of situations like this Goodwill. Make sure y'all like and sub as y'all come in too, man. Make sure that, like, these little erasers right here that you can see, they make sure that these erasers, was probably a penny a piece, get donated at 25 cents a piece. And this is how they keep their taxable income down. So when the Goodwill says that they're doing the Lord's work, maybe they are. Maybe they are. But it's a symbiotic relationship. You can't have community service. You can't have volunteer work and charity without a marriage with big business. You understand what I'm saying? So even with that, this operation that they're doing right here is moving to work, B. They moving to work. So if y'all saw that video I did about, you know what I'm saying, about build with the bros, not the hoes. When I said, man, I'm out here working on sponsorships with fucking Park District football teams and Division 3 colleges, sponsoring a team helps me. Because now we have a product with brand recognition that we may have lifetime consumers based on this. Plus, you always just see the logo because we'll be everywhere. So the logo make you a name brand nigga, right? Logos, commercials, name brand nigga. To the point that I call you colored crayons, but you could easily call you Crayolas, and you'll know Crayola is crayon. There is something called photocopying, but you don't call it photocopying. You know what you call it? Xerox. Yo, I need that Xerox. Because Xerox branded themselves in such a way. You want cola, but you ask for a Coke, even if they sell Pepsi. Yo, let me get a Coke. You know that you're about to get a Pepsi. Because that's how the branding works. That's why Nike makes sure that everybody in the NBA wears Nikes. They just give them shoes to make sure that psychologically you see their shoes where professional athletes going. You be like, yo, these must be great shoes because even the pros wear them. Anyway, that's all I'd say about that. I ain't going to beat a dead horse. Let's go back.
Out supplies at the beginning of the school year and then replenishment supplies at the beginning of second term.
And Polly, what was it like being a part of that?
It was really fun. We assembled different kits.
That's cool. I mean, I can imagine the looks on their faces.
Well, so many of them, their parents can't afford to buy the supplies for them. So we don't want the children to be ostracized because they don't have what they need, and we want them to be successful in school.
And you guys also do work for people in other countries.
Oh, let me repeat what she just said, yo. Because that shit is facts, too, and that's fucked up. Listen to what she just said.
That's because they don't have what they need. And
hold on, we'll look further.
Supplies for them. So we don't want the children to be ostracized.
Well, different kits.
That's cool. I mean, I can imagine the looks on their faces.
Well, so many of them, their parents can't afford to buy the supplies for them.
I need y'all to understand that. There's so many kids that the parents can't afford to buy supplies for, that they need other people to supply the materials for their children. I want to say this. I'm gonna let it play out, but I just got a quick Tyler rant. Even though saying about Tyler's, I got a quick Tyler rant. You saw what they're giving away. 10-cent pencils, 5-cent erasers. What parent can afford that? These bitches getting their hair done twice a month at $300 a pop. This is not a lack of money. This is a lack of priority. They are helping the goofiest bitch. This is why these bitches should not be parents. There's no way in the world that these chicks should have primary custody of children. They're horrible people, bro. Women buy what they want, then beg for what they need. Let me repeat that. This is poor people in general, but toddlers are always poor because this is a toddler mindset. Toddlers buy what they want, then beg for what they need. So when they say, I don't want a man, I don't need a man, I want a man, no. They beg for what they need. So if they say they just want a man, they begging for a man because they need a man. They say they don't, but they do, because what they think they need are really desired products, right? They spend their money on the shit they spend their money on to make themselves feel better, because it must suck to be a woman, or they wouldn't hate being a woman. I can't even imagine that amount of self-hate. I mean, I'm sure some of you guys can, because your mama black and y'all was raised by a single mother, but I was raised by all men, so I can't imagine that amount of self-hate. But bro, quick story. Once upon a time, my homegirl Trivana, shout out to Trivana. Love me some Trivana. That's my baby. But Trivana had 5 kids. And she was married. She was married. She had 5 kids. Her husband drove a school bus, so I don't think they really had like a gang of money. Trivana was a housewife of 5 kids. Her husband drove a school bus. One day, he just didn't come home, yo. This motherfucker found a girlfriend and just moved out. Didn't come home. Said, fuck him, fuck her, fuck them 5 kids. I'm living life, B. So now she's a single mother of 5, but they still married. They ain't got divorced, but he ain't coming back home. And he had just rented out a house for her. So, I told Trivana, I said, well, yo, let me use your crib as a office space, and I'll take care of, your little bills. Because she told me that her husband was still paying the mortgage, but he wasn't paying the light bill. They ain't had no house phone. He wasn't paying the phone bill. All that shit. I was like, man, let me use your crib as an office, and I'll pay your light bill, phone bill, blah, blah, blah. She's like, all right. Put a couple business phones in the crib, pay the light bill, whatever. School was starting, because he left her in the summertime. That's so crazy. He a school bus driver. He don't even work in the summer, nigga. This nigga live during the summertime, bro. So school was starting, and I came to her crib. School probably started like on Monday, and I slid through her crib on Thursday around noon, because I need to make a couple calls and use a business line to do it. And her kids was there. I'm like, man, what the fuck is your kids doing here? She was like, well, they didn't have school outfits, and they were supposed to have a box of crayons and some pencils and some paper and school uniform shirts, and I can't afford it, and their daddy ain't giving them nothing, and I just can't do it. And I'm like, shorty, you giving away. She used to do micro braids, bro. Them bitches like $300. She was doing that shit on the block for like $40. I'm like, shorty, you could have been hustled up on the money. I said, but don't worry about it. Partially because Trivana my girl. Like 20% because Trivana my girl, and I know the kids got to go to school, and Oak love the kids, like 20%. 20%. Maybe another 5% because Oak love the kids, so let's say 25%. 75% is because I need these little niggas gone so I could use the crib as an office space and smash her friends while they in school. So, well, smash Trivana friends while they in school, not her kids' friends. Smash Trivana friends while her kids in school, and use the crib as an office. So, I go to the dollar store. I buy 5 notebooks, 3 packs of crayons, because she had 3 younger kids, a pack of pens. Shit probably cost me, bro. And then this dollar store had the little school jersey shits too. You know what I'm saying? The little fake polo shirts for like $3 a piece. The whole thing probably cost me $30, $40. And now when I got to the register, this little Arab dude, when I got to the register, he was like, oh, you getting your kids? I was like, bro, I ain't even got no kids. I was like, man, I'm doing this for my neighbor because our kids can't go to school. And he felt a certain type of way. And he was like, man, just give me a dub, bro. You can have this shit. Just give me a dub. Good looking. So now I looked out for her. He looked out for me. So now you got 2 men that looked out for a girl who couldn't buy pencils from the dollar store. She'll tell you though, she had all summer. She knew her husband left. She had all summer to hustle up on $40 so her kids could go to school. And she didn't. She lollygagged, smoked weed on the block, on like her porch was a hangout spot. Like motherfuckers coming on the porch, she bringing hair on the porch. She smoking weed with the guys on the porch. Motherfuckers bringing liquor on the porch. She ain't never told the block, like, yo, block, kids got to go to school. Niggas would have gave her the bread. Joanna was cool as shit. She was like, everybody plays sister. We would have gave her the bread. Niggas would put $5 up a piece. She'd have came out better if we all gave her $5. She probably came up on $200. Had a couple of dollars left over. But girls do not handle business. This is why you got this magical white woman. You know what I'm saying? White girl magic too. Fuck that shit. Now you got this magical white woman saying that they have to give pencils, erasers, and notepads, which you can't tell me that's more than $1.75. You can't, nigga. If you gave them $2 for all that shit in that packet, you'll get a quarterback in change, man. And motherfuckers can't do that for their kids. They got their kids being ostracized at school for $2 worth of shit. These whores are horrible, man. I was just triggered, bro. This not what Still Alive is about. It's not. This is about slavery. But these bitches need to be slaves. I keep trying to tell y'all, these motherfuckers need to be slaves.
I can imagine the looks on their faces.
Well, and so many of them, their parents can't afford to buy the supplies for them. So we don't want the children to be ostracized because they don't have what they need, and we want them to be successful in school.
And you guys also do work for people in other countries as well. Tell me about the sewing projects.
The sewing projects is where we have people come in who have sewing skills, and right now they're working on pillowcase dresses for children.
What is a pillowcase dress?
It's a pillowcase, and you cut out little armholes and put the little tie on the top. So there's simple little.
Did this lady just say pillowcase dresses? She said pillowcase dresses. The same thing that we did as kids to be a ghost for Halloween. She said pillowcase dresses. All right, pillowcase dresses then.
Dresses, but for children in need, they're great.
Yeah, that's life-saving stuff right there. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining me.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. If you want to help create opportunities for a better...
I cannot. I can't with him. Talking about some, yes, ladies, that's life-saving stuff. I cannot with him. I cannot. Okay, so I'm going to take a quick break. Then I'm going to get into the slavery part. Because I shall become a tribal warlord. And you guys shall help me. And we all going to get money. And we all going to have secretaries. I'm going to have slaves. But y'all going to have secretaries. We're going to work this out. Let's take this quick intermission. And we're going to come right back and talk about the slave part. Dirty folks. Dirty folks. Dirty folks. Knows your soul. Knows your soul. Toddler tales are crazy stories that could only happen to me. Each tale is endorsed by Toddlerology and the Marry Your Secretary courses. In a world where toddlers are only loyal to her employer, learn the skills needed to train your toddler to work at your relationship like she works at her job. There's courses for every level of your relationship status, including polygamy. Need support? Join scheduled study groups with other Toddlerology members. Click the link below. And now, back to today's story. Hey everybody, I is back. Alright, so let's do a quick dissertation about what the origin of community service, because I think it's valuable to understand what the original intent is. And then we're going to go into the meat and potatoes. So take this information with a grain of salt because we using Wikipedia, but Wikipedia pretty good on this. Okay, community service. Community service is unpaid work. Unpaid work. Let's see what unpaid work is. Unpaid labor is defined as labor that does not receive any direct remuneration. This is a form of non-market work, which can fall into two categories. One, unpaid work that is placed within the production boundary of a system of national accounts. Wait a minute, because this is important. Such as gross domestic product. Or two, unpaid work that falls outside of the production boundary, such as domestic labor that occurs inside of households for their consumption. Right? So either you in the field, which is the gross domestic product, unpaid work in the field, or you unpaid work house nigga. That's what they saying, right? Unpaid labor is visible in many forms and isn't limited to activities within a household. Other type of unpaid labor activities include volunteering as a form of charity work and interning as a form of unpaid employment. In a lot of countries, unpaid domestic work in the household is typically performed by women due to gender inequality. No, it's due because that's what girls are good at. They can't really do shit outside the house. Women attempting to balance unpaid work and paid employment in poor countries. Sometimes that work is performed by children. But okay, so that is what community service is. Community service is unpaid work performed by a person or group of people for the benefit and betterment of their community without any form of compensation. Community service can be distinct from volunteering since it's not always performed on a voluntary basis and may be compulsory. Community service and volunteering are two different things, gentlemen. What we just showed you were we showed you one video of people volunteering and another video of corporate nonprofit mixture of volunteers and paid employees. So we started off strictly volunteer. Hold on, because I don't want y'all to think I'm reading. So we started off strictly volunteer with the black girl magic. And then we got to the white girl and Arab girl magic, and we had a mixture of volunteer with paid associates to do nonprofit work. So they do things for the community. It's still community service. They're doing things for the community, but they're doing it differently, right? Normally through grants and donations and things of that nature. Okay. Now, then what they're saying is community service is distinct from volunteering since it's not always performed on a voluntary basis and can be compulsory. Compulsory means mandatory. For instance, catch a DUI. See how many hours of community service you got to do. That ain't volunteering. That's keeping your ass about the joint. You feel me? But it's still community service. You still don't get paid for it. It's still community service. Right? Now, it's court order community service, which is very similar to not slavery. God damn it. Indentured servitude. It's very close to indentured servitude because you have a time limit. You have, instead of having 7 years to be an indentured servant, indentured slave, instead you just have a couple of hours, and they tell you how many hours you got to be a slave. But I'm told y'all niggas, I'm going to get some fucking slaves. I didn't tell y'all how I was going to get them. I'm just telling you that I'm going to have them. So compulsory slavery works for me. I'm going to have me some motherfucking slaves. Anyway, as the story progresses. Although personal benefits may be realized, it may be performed for a variety of reasons, including citizenship requirements, a substitution of criminal justice sanctions, requirements of a school or class, and requisites for the receipt of certain benefits. That's what community service is. Now, y'all can read the rest of this, but they're telling you a lot of reasons that community service happens. Education and college, especially you have to do internships and externships in college. That's especially true. Community service learning and some other shit. Court order service, right? That's the one I want to read. Court ordered service. People convicted of a crime may be required to perform community service or to work for agencies in the sentencing jurisdiction, either entirely or partially, as a substitution for other judicial remedies and sanctions such as incarceration or fines. For instance, a fine may be reduced in exchange for a prescribed number of hours of community service. The court may allow the defendant to choose their community service, which must then be documented by credible agencies like us, baby, such as nonprofit organizations or may mandate a specific service. So what they're saying is, okay, let me explain to you real quick. Court-ordered community service is criminal or civil or arbitrary, right? So every judge, whether it's an arbitration judge like child support, whether it's a civil judge like you got sued and you have to pay your fees, or whether it's criminal like traffic, DUI, things of that nature. I don't even know if traffic is criminal. It's a crime. DUI is a crime. You can get community service for it. Anyway, don't matter what kind of judge. The judge can tell you have to do X amount of hours and you figure it out, or they can send you to a place to do X amount of hours. That's us, baby. Now, I'm going to give me some slaves. So, here's the thing. Let's go back. Goddamn right, I'm a brand private prisons. Fucking right. Anyway, sometimes the sentencing is specifically targeted for the defendant's crime. For example, a litterer may have to clean a park or roadside, or a drunk driver might appear before school groups to explain why drunk driving is a crime. Also, a sentence allowing for a broader choice may prohibit certain services that the offender would reasonably be expected to perform anyway. Corporate social responsibility. I want to say that one too. Some employers involve their staff in some kind of community service programming, such as with the United Way of America, or the NBA has the NBA Cares, where they got to go out there and clean litter. The NFL, for some reason, has breast cancer, even though men can't get breast cancer, and they got to wear them stupid ass pink shirts and go out here and tell girls to get their titties fixed. But yes, corporations do require their employees from time to time to join into a nonprofit sector, which is mutually beneficial for the employer and the nonprofit sector, and also works as good faith with the employees so that the community, they become indentured and appreciated by the community, right? Part of taking care of where you live, B. I totally respect it. It totally works. I'm totally for it. I keep calling it slavery because I'm an asshole, but it's still a good thing. Now, in addition, approximately 40% of Fortune 500 companies offer volunteer grant programs where companies provide monetary donations to nonprofit organizations in recognition of their employees' volunteerism, i.e., $500 volunteer grant after 25 hours of community service. Okay, so this is what that means, because I'm going to have some slaves. When they talk about volunteer grant programs, the best example of that would be private prisons. There's a lot of other examples, like me, once I become tribal warlord. But a great example would be private prisons. So you'll have someone like AT&T Ameritech, and they'll need someone to operate a call center, and they'll be in a place and such, depending on the state, right? So you may have a state like New York or Illinois or California that has a mandatory $15 to $18 an hour minimum wage, which y'all think is good, but it's absolutely fucking horrible. Minimum wage is horrible. You want them to make your life cheaper, not make your income higher, because they're just gonna make the price of everything else higher. And shit, nigga, I remember that shit like yesterday, bro. In 2006, the price of peas was 47 cents. In 2007, the price of peas was $1.49. And I remember in the store with my friend, like, what the fuck, man? You don't need more money. You need things to be more affordable. But I digress. So if you're in a place like Cali with an $18 minimum wage, or Chicago like a $15 minimum wage, and you just want somebody to do an inbound call center, I don't want to pay y'all stupid motherfuckers $15 to pick up a phone. So what I will do is I'll go to a private prison and I'll pay them $3 an hour for inmates to do the exact same work. in which the inmates will get $1.50 and the prisoner get $1.50. So regardless of how the fuck they chop up their bread, I save $12 an hour. So yay for me, you know what I'm saying? And the prison made $1.50. You know what I'm saying? They so shout out to that, because slavery is the shit. People need slavery. Anyway, now with that being said, we're gonna watch this quick video, and it's called the top 21 prison jobs. So when you go to jail, you learn a skill set, you get your college degree, you can do whatever, and you can come out here as a functional member of society and use these skills that you learned to get a job. And I also want to say this: jail jobs, and I found this out just on some common sense shit. I started thinking about it and I researched it. Jail jobs and jail education come from nonprofit institutions, and sometimes for-profit institutions from their nonprofit division. For instance, if you're in Illinois, you can get your bachelor's degree from the University of Illinois while you're in jail for no fee. You just go to class, get your degree, and you have a degree in whatever the fuck your bachelor's of arts and whatever you decide, whatever they teach in jail. That, of course, you can't just pick it's whatever they got, but you get your bachelor's of arts from the University of Illinois while you're in jail. Don't tell your employer that you got it in jail. Just tell them you got you a bachelor's degree from the University of Illinois. So a lot of these corporations marry each other. They're in partnerships in order to make your slave time, your indentured servitude time, worth it, right? Now the thing is, will people hire a felon? The thing is not if you're qualified because you learned the skill set. The thing is, will they hire a felon? Because I've heard stories of people who worked for Ameritech while they were in jail for like 2 years, and they got out of jail and applied for a job at Ameritech, and Ameritech was like, they not qualified because they didn't want to hire a felon. But it doesn't stop you from having product knowledge. Anyway, so let's check this out. Wait a minute. Maybe I should take it off mute.
21 jobs that most federal prisons have, and then there's side hustles and black markets formed around those jobs. Let's talk about all 21 jobs that most federal prisons have and where you might find yourself working. I got 60 months in prison for flying marijuana around the country in a private airplane. During my time in...
Wait, stop. Two things. Number one, fair use. Number two, this dude right here is what was my man name on Blow? This is Boston George from Blow. Listen to what he just said he got locked up for. This is Boston George. Oh shit.
Months in prison for flying marijuana around the country in a private airplane. During my time in prison, I learned ways to stay safe and get time off. That's exactly what I teach on this channel, so subscribe now for updates. There's 21 jobs that most federal prisons have. Federal prisons operate like a small city, and all these jobs are required to keep it chugging along.
Say that again. Tribe up. Say that shit again, bro. How do prisons operate? As a what?
Prisons operate like a small city, and all...
As a motherfucking small city. Corporate town, nigga. Urkian tribe, nigga. Give me some motherfucking slaves. Where Big Mike at? Tell this motherfucker I'm gonna give me some slaves. I want to hear that shit one more time because that made my dick hard. Tell me about this corporate city. How do they operate, sir?
Prisons operate like a small city, and all these jobs are required to keep it chugging along. So let's get into job number one. Job number one, the electrical shop. They're in charge of keeping the electrical outlets, the lighting, computers, things like that running. The side hustle for the electricians is repairing MP3 players, headphones, because they're going to have the soldering tools and know how to get this stuff done. So a lot of inmate repairs for inmate headphones are done by the electricians. Number two, HVAC. These inmates take care of all the heating and cooling through the entire institution. As well, this includes the ice machine. Sometimes that ice machine goes down, and it's a high priority for the inmates to get that fixed, so these inmates can carry some clout. Three, plumbing. These inmates take care of the toilets, sinks, showers, and all the sewer system at the prison. Four, paint shop. These inmates have kind of a cool job because it's always changing. They're painting different buildings and they're in different parts of the compound all the time. I want you to get as much time off as possible. That's why I made a free 13-point checklist. It's in the show notes. It's a list of ways to get time off your prison sentence. So grab that in the show notes now. It's free. 5. The maintenance shop. These inmates are generally jacks of all trades. They can go around and fix most things at the prison, and anything that falls through the crack, the maintenance shop's in charge of fixing. Now they have access to a wide array of tools, and so also they can have some good side hustles because they can repair all kinds of stuff for inmates. 6. Landscaping. This job keeps people outside. They're autonomous. They're mowing lawns, listening to music, cutting flowers, and doing general landscaping. People like this because of the autonomy. 7. Cooks, bakers, and line prep. These inmates are in charge of making the food. A lot of times they're improving their cooking skills. They're making food for the entire prison, so they're well respected. And then also they're stealing a lot of food out of the kitchen and selling it at top dollar back in the dormitory. 8.
Hold on, man. Let me take a break. Let's take a break from this real quick. Let's take a break. We're going to come right back to this, though. First of all, I want to say a few things. I'm about to take a quick break. We're going to come back to this. Number one, we're talking about some of the top paying jobs in real world. Not no fucking, I got my fucking degree in child care so I can teach 3-year-olds what their colors are to replace their mother because their mothers didn't teach them what their colors are. We're not talking about the bullshit degrees that toddlers get. We're talking about real world application. We're talking about dudes here with a 3rd grade reading aptitude a lot of times who are doing electrical work, fucking working with wood, repairing windows, culinary arts. You know how much chefs make? Like, for real. Not motherfuckers just make hamburgers at McDonald's. I mean, like, chefs. They getting culinary arts degrees. Some motherfuckers can't even read, man. Some of them can't read. Some of them smart as shit. Other ones can't read. But I do want to take a quick break to remind y'all niggas. Alright, make sure y'all send y'all 1-minute clips of the moments that impact you the most. Also, I need somebody to work my TikTok for me. For real. If y'all got TikTok, I want somebody to work my TikTok for me. I give y'all my TikTok. And then I even give y'all a list of the 1-minute clips. And somebody that could post the 1-minute clips to a TikTok for me. So you just got a running Andrew Tate ass dirty folks TikTok shit. That'd be greatly appreciated if somebody want to be the TikTok coordinator. Like I said, we got the shirts. We'll have other gift packs in a minute. And let's get back to the show. I also, before we close this out, want to give a thanks to Excel Pro Services for the $5 cash apps for daycare fees. Thank you. Appreciate it. And a shout out to Zone for the $2 cash app for the daycare fees. Gratitude. Seeing you how I pay your daycare fees, man. All things I appreciate it. The daycare fees go toward the Marry Your Secretary app, which will pay your toddler for you based on ad revenue, so you can be cheap as shit and work the fuck out your toddler and make her the indentured service she was born to be. But you gotta take the toddlerology course to know how to do it. But we'll design an app for you to make it even easier. So she respect you, I throw a tie. Anyway, let's get back to this because I'm very interested in the 21 jobs that they pay $3 for that pay $30 an hour in the real world. So let's get back to it.
8 food servers. These are the guys actually on the chow hall line scooping the food and serving it. This can be a stressful position because you're having to deal with a lot of inmates coming in with attitude problems. Also, you're having to deal with the guards who are watching the soup size. This is high stress, but it's a way to work yourself deeper into the kitchen, so a lot of people start on the server line. If you're getting some value out of this, hit like, hit subscribe. That helps me build this YouTube channel, helps the YouTube algorithm find these videos for other people. Dining room workers. They are wiping down the tables, taking the trays back to the kitchen and the washroom, and they're interacting with the inmates. Now, there's not much to this job. What they are also doing is helping smuggle food out of the kitchen a lot of the times. The dish room, probably not a place you want to get stuck. You get paid a little bit more, but in prison terms, that's not much, and you're washing dishes. There's not a ton of benefits to this job. 11, clerks. They're sitting in an office doing paperwork, checking out equipment, maybe doing payroll. This is sometimes a sought-after job because of the power that it gives inmates. They have an overview of the inmate population. They can help people get jobs sometimes. 12, orderlies. Each part of the prison is going to have an orderly. They're in charge of sweeping, mopping, and keeping things clean. The benefits of being an orderly is generally it's a sign-in job. You're in charge of getting it clean. Sometimes it only takes 5 minutes. Sometimes it takes a while, but people enjoy the autonomy. 13, commissary workers. They're in charge of what food sometimes is stocked, what you can buy on commissary, and then they're in charge of the line for people to get commissary. One of their side hustles is letting people cut in line and get their commissary more quickly. This is a higher paid job, so it's one of the ones that's sought after. 14, the psychology department. These inmates clean up. Sometimes they lead self-help groups or act as receptionists, and this is indoors in a professional environment. 15, the chapel. This inmate will clean up, they'll check out DVDs or books, and they will schedule services. The chapel's somewhere quiet and out of the way of most of the prison population. 16, trash and recycling. These inmates are collecting trash from all the places in the compound and taking them to the main facility. Inmates like this because it's not a huge time commitment and they have a little bit of freedom. 17,
Garbage men get that guap too, by the way. If they can get outside and get a job in sanitation for the city, they get that guap.
Recreation Department clerk. They're in charge of checking in and checking out recreation equipment. Also, they keep programs like Hobbycraft running. 18, Recreation Department referees and instructors. It could be anything from instructing yoga classes to refereeing basketball or soccer. 19, Education Department tutors. They're generally teaching GED or ESL, English Second Language classes. Tutors don't get paid much. A lot of the time they're doing it because they like coaching their fellow inmates. 20, Adult Continuing Education teachers. So these inmates are actually teaching their fellow inmates in skills like real estate, bookkeeping, or any other class or specialty that they might have. This is more of a job of passion. They don't get paid much. Sometimes it will fill the entire job requirement for an inmate. 21, no-show jobs. These jobs are menial tasks. The prison is required to have every inmate employed during their stay. This doesn't mean that the employment has to be strenuous or take a lot of time. So sometimes you'll have a job.
Let me repeat that. It's mandatory in their baby town, in their little private city, for everyone to have a job. Shout out to them, man. Wait till I'm a tribal warlord. I swear to God. Anyway, I'm gonna hear that again because that shit kind of made my dick hard too. I got to chub off that. Hold on, man. Let's go with no-show jobs again.
Tasks. The prison is required to have every inmate employed during their stay. This doesn't mean that the employment has to be strenuous or take a lot of time. So sometimes you'll have a job like just keeping the trash off of the perimeter of the prison complex, and maybe 20 inmates will have that job. It depends on how many inmates are at the facility and how many jobs actually need to be filled. Sometimes there's just too many inmates and not enough jobs. So you can feel that situation out, and most prisons have no-show jobs. Even at a small compound like I was on at some points, I found a job that was sweeping rocks, that was essentially just keeping the rocks off the path. And as a bonus job, we save the highest paying job till last. It's called Unicore. It's a factory or industrial labor where you go into an actual industrial factory and you do some sort of work. What people like about this is that it's higher paying. Sometimes inmates are making $120, $150 a month, which is a lot more than $15 a month. And also, it takes...
We're going to go back to that one too. I'm gonna repeat what he just said. They go off the reservation, or maybe it's on the reservation, because a lot of these companies will actually build a factory on private prisons, and that's where they operate from. And these jobs, even if you work at a temp agency, these are $12, $15 an hour jobs. So they have a $12, $15 an hour job, and they probably pay the prison half that, right? $7.50, right? An hour. $7.50 an hour is $400 a week. No, it ain't. $10 an hour, $400 a week. $7.50 an hour is $265, $300 a week. $265 a week. Now, with that $265 a week, they make over $1,000 a month per inmate, but each inmate gets $150. So they have a net profit of $850 by outsourcing to a factory. So the factory say they getting labor for half price, and the inmates relatively get paid more than anybody else, and the prison gets paid for working as a temp agency. And on top of that, the reason that this works is not because it's higher yield, it's because they keep their operating costs low. Once again, it's not about the money that you make, it's about the lifestyle cost, the cost of your lifestyle. In this real world, y'all keep asking for more money and shit keeps getting higher and higher. I remember apartments used to be $500. That's $1,400 now because they accept Section 8. Everything that's expensive about your life is normally because of a toddler. Enslave these bitches. Train your toddler, then you can lower your costs and you can build from scratch and tribe with the guys and have a lower cost of living, a higher quality of life. Not prison, but a higher quality of life by not letting these bitches work or talk with clothes on. Anyway, let's go back to it.
About this is that it's higher paying. Sometimes inmates are making $120, $150 a month, which is a lot more than $15 a month. And also, it takes most of the day, between 6 and 8 hours, so keep people busy. If you or someone you know is going to federal prison, I'm making these videos just for you. I want you to have all the facts.
Alright, so that's that with that. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to him. I'm gonna give him a like too. I'm gonna give Boston George a like on this video, man. It's a good video. And lastly, once again, because whether it's federal jail or it's paying off your tickets and having to do swap, court ordered community service is normally the routes that men go. And when men have to do court ordered community service, it's normally tasks that are needed, like that people actually need. When girls do community service, I'm not saying that it's not fulfilling, but it's normally so they feel better than somebody. So they feel better than homeless people. So they feel better than poor people who can't afford pencils. And they don't consciously believe they're doing it because they're better. They just want to help. They just want to be better than somebody. And it makes them feel good to help people that are less fortunate. That's what they say, right? Help people less fortunate, because it makes them feel better. This is why these bitches get doctorate degrees and marry felons, because they need to feel better than somebody. Oh, you can't judge love. Yes, you can, bitch. Look. Anyway, since indentured servitude is definitely about the money, volunteer work ain't about the money, because girls don't spend their own money. Corporations donate, private citizens donate. They just give their time because they ain't had shit else to do. If they wasn't volunteering, that'd be fucking your best friend. So shout out to them. But community, the base of community service is economics. Everything follow the money. Everything come back to the money. So we're gonna watch this quick video about if you are allotted community service, if it's possible for you to get out of community service, because time is money. So either you have time or you have money, or you have a combination of both, right? So you can have time and money. You can pay a little bit and volunteer a little bit to get to your price point, but it's all about the money. So let's see if you can get out of community service. This is an attorney from Florida, and I know it's Florida, but he's still an attorney. So let's see. Law office at John Goodwill. Well, how the fuck you pronounce that? Anyway, can I buy out my community service? Let's check this out.
There are many ways to buy out your community service, so let's run through a few of them. First, you should know you have no right to buy out your community service. You've got to do the work if that's what your sentence asks for, and that's what the judge requires. But you can buy out your community service with the judge's permission, And this is a simple motion to file, and judges will grant you a buyout if you have a good reason. Now, a good reason isn't that you didn't realize how hard it'd be to find a place, or you put it off too long. It is tough to find a place to do community service. It's kind of work to go out and find this work. On rare occasion, your probation officer will actually allow you to buy out without a court order. I would say that's not 100% legal for them to do, but I've seen it many times. That's a story for another day. And if probation lets you do it, maybe follow their lead. What the heck? Another option, which again, not 100% legal in all jurisdictions, so discuss it with your attorney. But I've had clients who have found community service locations that need donations more than they...
Hold on, let me say this though, real quick, not to interrupt this flow. He started off by saying you can ask your judge if you can, buy out your community service. Everything else he said after that is, this ain't legal. He the lawyer though. This ain't legal, but I just found out some music. Everything after that, talk to your judge, is criminal shit. But shout out to Florida. Like I said, Florida. All right, anyway.
Service locations that need donations more than they need your hours, right? And I've seen even probation officers get on board with this, and some that don't even know it happened. But this maneuver is very common in small animal shelters. And the small struggling animal shelter says, look, if you buy me X number of bags of food or kitty litter, I'll mark you down for 150 hours community service completed. I've had clients rush to the feed store with the truck, drop off the supplies to the community service place, and get a letter of completion. Easy peasy. The more you donate, the more hours you complete, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a buyout without the judge's permission. So I'd probably talk to your attorney about it, but it's a great creative option when you can find it. My name is John Guidry, by the way, and I practice in Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties. So if you have a problem with probation in any of those counties...
I ain't going to give you a shout out, but I gave you a shout out. All right, so, guys, that's it. I'm going to close out on this. You guys need to understand the barter system. That's what community service is for guys. It's a barter system. For women, it's something to do so they feel better than somebody. For guys, it's a barter system. How can you make your tribe better? How can you make your community better, your life better? By getting compensated in some way to make improvements. I do not endorse rebuilding the community. I do not endorse saving the community. I don't endorse nothing. I endorse leaving them bitches where they at and moving to Montana or New Mexico or something and starting from scratch, because you'll be able to work with men. You cannot work with these toddlers. These toddlers can work for you, but you cannot work with a toddler. There is no NBA star in the cheerleaders part of the team. This doesn't happen. So you guys have to come together, tribe up, and build as men. And then the repetitive tasks and services that need to be done, you can make positions and bring in your toddlers and train those toddlers to become the secretaries for the things that you need to do. That is function. Y'all keep following these toddlers. Y'all keep working with these toddlers like they fucking opinion matter with clothes on. Y'all keep bringing these toddlers to the table, and shit gonna get accomplished. The kids still gonna be killers, and goddamn, she's still gonna be yelling, "Not my baby I never hurt nobody." But she going under his bed, and he got 3 fucking Mazal shotguns and shit. Exactly right, Excel. We in Reconstruction, and niggas still fighting gender wars. The Civil War over, man. We in Reconstruction. So, tribe up, guys. And I'm gonna teach you guys how to get secretaries or slaves. How do you feel? I'm gonna get slaves, but that's because I'm corporate, and all slavery is corporate. Love each other as you love yourself. Feed the pack and pay your daycare fees, man. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give y'all an extra 30 seconds to pay y'all daycare fees before I go out of here. Give y'all a little time. Play a little music. Pay your daycare fees. Or hit the link to say, get your connect. Oh, wait. I'm glad I didn't go out yet. There's a form in the chart, in the chat, in the description. Whatever it is that you guys do, there's actually a tribal form. You can actually list what it is that you do, man. We're always looking to work and build with men. We're always looking to build with men so that we can refer tasks and duties amongst ourselves. You know what I'm saying? I already got niggas that do Forex and got niggas that do construction. I could always use more dudes that do construction though, because dudes do the work, but they don't do the paperwork. But if you have a skill, no matter what you think your skill set is, whatever you're good at, go down there, let us know, and it's always value for you. And somebody needs to do my TikTok for me, because I don't want to do TikTok. So I only put these 1 minute clips in TikTok. So inbox me or something. Let me know if you want to do that. Anyway, on that note, love each other as you love yourself. Feed the pack.
Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Stay away from cities with dyke mayors. They spray to play with your life, player. Or shake the dice. If you got a quota, then stay away from toddlers. These bitches are fight. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Train your toddler. Please train your toddler. Whippings, timeouts, take her allowance. Cause on sweat she will destroy your life if you allow it. Fucking, I'm tired of rap. Low, bring in the choir. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare.
Why did Daddy say so?
Because we were talking about every night,
Low key, I love that little girl. That little girl, my favorite part of the video. But I want to give a shout out real quick to Gerald for the $5 cash out for daycare fees. Gratitude.
Mama,
And a shout out to Will for the $5 for tribing up. Gratitude.
Mama,
Rest of y'all pieces of shit. Alright, let's get back to it, man.
Welcome to the daycare. Title's gonna title. Title's gonna title. Title's gonna title.